high vinegar, high chili, high noodles, and then you eat until you high. Welcome to another episode of Eatbook Vlogs. I'm Mandon and today we are back in Mahout Lavender for another episode of Legendary Hawkers. This place we are going has wonton and minced pork all in one bowl. Do you know? Because I know. Let's go. We are now at Tai Hwa Pork Noodle, which is just right in the middle of Crawford Lane now. My grandmother's house is just like 5 minutes walk away. So I've been here and I know this place pretty well. The last time I had this bak chor mee, right, was 3-4 years ago when it was all the hype. You don't like think that bak chor mee is just bak chor mee, okay? This store won the Michelin star. The queue was a solid like 90 minutes. And fun fact for you guys, this place has been around since 1932, which makes it a solid 89-year-old establishment. Far more than any of the shops that you can even like imagine to have lah. They're originally located at Hill Street. They relocated a couple of times, and then now, since 2004, they are here at Crawford Lane. So before I order my own bowl, let's go find out what others have to say. 好，你常来这里吗？你是这里的熟客吗？
偶尔都会来。
偶尔啊，多偶尔。
可能1个月1次。1
个月1次啊。
Probably once a month or once every 2 months.
不是常来了，是差不多有1个月有来1次这样。
1个月来1次啊。1-2
次这样。
Okay, so like what makes this bowl of noodle like a good bowl of noodle? Or do you not think it's good?
It's very good. It's just the queue, but it's very tasty.
It's very tasty.
Yeah, you don't find this anywhere else. Oh, it's the soup that stands out though.
它的面够味道啦，它的面够 Q。
安妮你呢？
一样哦，它的面煮得很好啦，
料也够辣
啊，
味道都 OK 啦，
全部都
适合吃啊。
对，适合。对。
我喜欢吃干的。
你喜欢吃干的？为什么你喜欢吃干的呢？
哦，因为那个醋，没醋诶，他就比较喜欢吃汤的。
哦，你不吃醋的？
汤比较浓了，好吃。它有一种味道，不会说好像有味精这样，吃得蛮顺口。
Right. So for $6, is this worth it for you?
Yeah, I think yes, because it's a lot of ingredients in a bowl. Yeah, I like the liver.
Oh.
Yeah, the liver is very crunchy and soft.
它的6块，我的8块。
OK， 你觉得值得吗？
算它是偏高了一点啦，但是那个味道适合就 OK 啦，就算值得啦。
肯定你呢？6块，值得吗？
看完甜。
OK 啦，料蛮多的。
它的料很多。
主要是好吃嘛，你去这边4-5块也不好吃，这个是很好吃。放掉它的肉全部很滑。哦。它不说硬嘛。
猪肉很嫩。还有猪肝也是很好吃。
So this portion that I'm having is a $6 portion. It comes with liver, minced pork, the 扁鱼. It's basically a flat fish that they deep fried, and then they just top it off over there, so it gives you that crunch. So imagine it as a briny keropok. Here's the dang cai, which is basically a preserved kind of vegetables that adds a lot of saltiness into whatever you put it into. Sliced pork, meatballs, and then one huge wonton that is dripping with that vinegary sort of chili now. Okay, let's mix it up. Give it a shot. See, the thing is that the noodles are not clumping together, and that is like the main hallmark of a good noodle store, right? Just by holding it like this, right, I can already tell that it would be a little more than al dente. Why a little more than al dente? Right? Is because I would imagine people coming here to tapa one shot like 5-6 boxes of the bak chor mee because the queue was so long, right? When it reach home, it's gonna be al dente. So this is probably it. So for this bowl of noodles, right, I'll be rating them out of 4 things. The noodles, cause it's primarily a noodles dish, so the noodles is like super important to me. The ingredients, cause there's a ton of ingredients here to talk about. The sauce, the vinegary kind of chili sauce, and then finally the soup, which I remember it to be like super good, cause it's like pork stock at the end of the day. So if you tell me that this is just a standard bowl of bak chor mee, right, I would give this a super high rating of like a good 8 or 9 already. But because this is Tai Hwa's bak chor mee, right, I think I would have to be a bit stricter. So let's talk about the noodles first, okay? The noodles is by far one of the best hawker noodles I've ever tasted. To me lah, it is as close to the kind of consistency that I would like from a ramen noodle. Good chew, good bite without the alkaline taste. So noodles are rated like super high already. I'll give you my ratings later on. But for the ingredients, right, as much as there are a lot of ingredients, but these 7 ingredients, right, feels a bit too normal for a Michelin star kind of establishment. It is all very nondescript, it's very basic, which I don't mind because of how good the sauce is. When we're queuing, right, the uncle actually adds like lard, oil, vinegar, chili, and some other special sauces to form the base for the sauce before adding the noodles and all the ingredients on top. And after he does it, right, he would actually splash another spoonful of vinegar right on top of it. So what it forms, right, is this wetter consistency of sauce right on top of the noodles. So as you mix this bowl of noodles thoroughly, right, what happens is that you see this very basic piece of pork, right, has now evolved into a piece with a lot of vinegar, a lot of chili, and like, see all the minced pork clinging onto it, which makes it a lot more flavorful than it was without everything else. So that's that. So I talk about the sauce having a lot of vinegar and a lot of chili, right? It isn't as sour as you might imagine. It is slightly on the milder side because as much as the vinegar is being used, the uncle is also very generous with the portion of the noodles over there. So it actually kind of balances out one another. But how I would order this, right, is that I would tell the uncle to add more chili. So you get a kick from the spice, you get a kick from the sourness of the vinegar, all coating around that very perfect noodle that I described just now. In all bak chor mee, right, there are 2 ways that I will drink my soup. The first way, right, is to drink it like that. And the second way, right, is after I finish the bowl of noodles, I'll pour this entire bowl of soup right into it, and then I'll mix everything up together, then I'll drink it. Let's talk about the soup as it is now. Just now when we were queuing up, right, I actually saw his helper trying to like blanch an entire sieve full of minced pork in a separate pot there. And then after he blanched it already, right, he actually takes whatever stock from the pot and he adds it into the main pot of the stock there. So you can actually imagine how porky and how much umami this bowl of soup has. And when you add seaweed into it, right, seaweed is a natural umami bomb already lah. So the amount of flavor inside this is super complex. It tastes a bit of garlic, it tastes a bit of pork, and then you taste a lot of seaweed top up with a solid spring onion. If I were to add this into the vinegar and chili combination, it's gonna be out of this world. So for the noodles, because it is so close to how I like my ramen noodles to be, right, I'll give it a 9 out of 10. The only one point that is missing, right, is that the mee pork is a bit on the thinner kind of mee pork, but this is just nitpicking already lah. The ingredients, I'll give it probably a 7 out of 10 because of how nondescript it is lah. There's nothing much to shout about. For Tai Hwa, a Michelin star store, I would imagine it to be highly marinated and homemade. For the sauce, I like it that they are very generous with the sauce. The vinegar that they use is on the milder side. The chili could have been amped up more, so I'm just gonna give it a 7 also. And then for the soup, this soup is good soup, man. This bowl of soup has been cooked for so long, so I'm just gonna give it an 8. And when you add this into the vinegar and chili combo, I'm gonna give it a 9. So 9, 7, 7, 9. So overall, I will give this an 8. For $6 bowl of noodles, I actually remember it to be a lot lesser, but this is quite a hefty bowl right here lah. So I would say that it is worth it to be on the $6 side of things, but if you ask me to queue for 90 minutes for this, I might hesitate a lot more. And if you ask me whether this store is worthy of the legendary status, right, I would say yes, it's of the legendary status, but I'm not sure personally whether it's worthy of a Michelin star. Thank you guys for watching this episode of Eatbook Vlogs. If you have other legendary hawkers you want us to try, do leave them down in the comment section below. If you like this video, you can watch more videos over there, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Bye bye. I'm out. I go to my grandma's house to nap after this, then I end work. Bye. Bye bye.